All right, guys, welcome back to Fuck. Where do we start? Today we have another special guest, Sierra, who's been on quite the journey in the filmmaking industry and has quite the story to tell. Also, was the photographer at my event that we just did. So let's go ahead and jump right into this journey. Sierra, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for coming.
Of course. It's
Yeah.
lovely being here.
Well, I'm glad you got to make it.
Yeah, I was a little scared.
Honestly, everybody is, and it's just me and you and Mary in here, right? It's not that bad.
Hello, production.
Yes. So, I know you want to talk about filmmaking, and
Mhm.
that's your passion right now. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know you, right? We just barely met.
That is
So
true.
this is a raw, authentic conversation right here.
Yeah. So, as a content creator, filmmaker, um, honestly, my current job as a freelance, self-employed person really comes down to a lot of media production in general. Um, it spans more than filmmaking, but has really been focused on wanting to get me into those kinds of spaces. Um, when it comes down to getting started in there, it's really all about connections, and that is a huge hindrance if you don't know that many people. But
100%, and that's what stops
absolutely
a lot of people from
right.
doing anything. It's like, oh, I don't know how to do it. I don't know who to ask. I don't know where to turn to. I never would have met you if I didn't know PR.
Yeah, and that's like lucky things, or what I perceive as lucky things.
I do too, yeah.
Like that really sort of even out the roller coaster sometimes. I find that putting myself and my work first rather than, who I am as a person, though, that may feel a little reductive, really helps me differentiate myself from others who may be putting, their brand or their personality as their top selling point. And while it has had varying degrees of success, certainly I feel it's made me the most comfortable in terms of where, getting jobs comes into concern, or where meeting new people comes into concern, where I can show them my work first and they aren't concerned necessarily with the personality behind it.
Yeah, I love that actually because it's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
On social media, media in general, it's like we have so many skilled people that are behind all the creation. A lot of times someone else just brings the personality because
Right.
we like to be on the background, right? And so,
That is true.
or we don't think we're good enough, or, that face to face. I always tell people if I meet somebody face to face, I guarantee you that we'll be friends, or that I can get them to come on my podcast because I want them to share their story,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's because that's what I love. And so I totally hear you. The networking is damn near impossible if you don't know how.
Absolutely. And, that is one of the hardest things, of course. But once you kind of get that ball rolling, it snowballs pretty well. One of the big starting points that I had was working with some people in the University of Utah's film program.
Oh, cool.
So students at the end of the year do this large capstone project where they go ahead and fund and make their own films. And
you
it's
guys fund it yourselves?
Yeah, the university students, they create fundraisers, they go secure funding, and then use that and potentially some pre-provided equipment from the university
Wow.
to create their capstone films. I've been privileged to be a part of a lot of these capstone films, working, behind the camera in particular through various roles, but, the same recurring people seem to show up through all those productions, and meeting them, making sure, or not necessarily making sure, but meeting them. And
I know I said making sure too, but
yeah,
it's just like meeting them. It's like,
yeah, we know. And
Yeah.
you become friends, of course. You work on these projects together. And over time, that's your little networking nugget, or the seed that you plant.
Did you just say seed?
Yes.
I have a whole theory about planting seeds. I haven't shared it with the world yet because it's $1 million idea. Theory.
back burner.
Yeah, so we'll have to rephrase on that, but it's called the tulip theory for my grandpa who just passed away from West Nile virus. And so I love that you just said seeds. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
That's
Continue.
okay. I mean, building off of that, these friends, co-workers sometimes, but the people that you meet and really expand that web. And of course, you have LinkedIn, which is a really corporate social media website.
I fucking hate LinkedIn. I can't even stand the app. And I don't know why everybody has it. So I don't have one.
It's one of those things where it's like you have it because everyone else has it, and everyone else has it because everyone else has it.
Yeah, so I don't have it. I think I have like probably a brief one set up, and it's probably not good.
Mine is certainly good enough.
You probably put good enough. You probably put a lot of effort into that.
Enough to get hired.
Yeah,
sometimes.
That's amazing.
But expanding that web of people that is really the core part of that networking experience. But it doesn't always have to be boring. And that's the one part that I didn't understand going in. I always pictured it as like, okay, you walk up, you hand them your business card, you introduce yourself. This is what I do, blah, 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 blah.
How's it going, bud?
They shake your hand. Right. But it's not necessarily that experience that gets you hired, gets you on other jobs. It's how you work side by side with somebody, how you solve the problems together, how you can be relied on in times where you're needed or something is needed that you have the expertise in. So my, core philosophy of like, okay, I'm putting my work first gets a little muddy in that case. And to me, that makes me nervous, right? Because I really want to put my work first. But over time, I've seen like blending your work and your personality in a way that gives people an idea of exactly how you are to work with has been the best case in most scenarios.
It's cool, huh?
It is really cool.
It's actually crazy cool to see. And like the fact that you can recognize that is amazing. That's why I built my business, is to help everybody.
Yeah.
How cool is it that I met you there randomly?
I was a substitute.
Yeah, and I met PR through Maya, who's the Fox 13 news reporter who covered my first event.
Oh yeah, I think I've met Maya once.
Maya's amazing.
Yeah.
She we have busy schedules, but she'll hit me up and be like, "Hey girl, I'm here tonight. Let's hang out." And I'm like, "Oh, nice. I have no babysitter." So you're absolutely right about your network and the web. And I'm one of those people that remembers people. That's why I ask for business cards. I ask for phone numbers.
Right.
Because I don't need your social. You're not going to answer on that. But I can call you and I can text you.
It's so much easier.
Or email you.
It's almost like it was made to contact people.
Right? It's like, why do we have all these other apps like dating? Why are you just talking on Snapchat? That's weird.
It is.
And
like I use it to keep up with my super old high school friends. But I mean, that's kind of the only thing at this point.
Yeah, it just has a bunch of pictures on it for me, and I'll post on my story. That's it. But I don't really talk to anybody, because the face-to-face is so much more important to me than anything. The face-to-face interaction that, do you think anybody would come to my events if they didn't see maybe my personality through social media and me being 100% authentic and literally crying on the floor?
And that is like one of the cruxes of social media websites is you have to build this larger than life personality in order to attract people to your profile. And that is a, symptom of wanting or needing, potentially for your business, more people to be following it. And now you're stuck in this loop of, okay, not only am I a company that does filmmaking or that does content creation, but I'm also a company that has to expand in social media, make content, constantly, put data out there, put information out there about myself, put myself out there.
Constantly.
Right.
It's constantly.
And you don't have a choice unless you want to get left behind. And that's one of the things that frustrates me, is because I don't necessarily feel super confident or particularly wanting to put all of myself out there on the internet, on social media, just so I can get a job.
I get that. And a lot of people don't. And I didn't either. Like, that's not why I because I started with my podcast a year ago in my room, and I wasn't confident enough to post anything, any video, right? I slowly been doing it, and then next thing you know, almost over 5,000 followers, almost a 6K, because I started going live. I started
Nice.
being authentic and like genuinely crying. Like there's a whole 10-minute episode on there about me opening a birthday present alone on my 30th birthday, and it's raw, real emotion, unscripted.
That's a long time.
Yeah, and I'm looking right into the camera and I'm crying. And that's what I find is so misconstrued in the industry, is in business in general,
Right.
in anything, is that there's this one way to do it. And there's fucking not.
Yeah, I mean, of course, for some people it's easier way. Absolutely. If that's their, motivation is like, okay, I love putting myself out there. This is 100% my thing. Absolutely. They're going to have a great time. That's what our society is built on nowadays.
Yeah.
But for someone who prefers to be behind the camera, 100% of the time, it's a really big, blocker for me. And I do it the hard way, which is getting to know people as friends, as people who work side by side, and, getting connections through them. And when it comes down to where I am now, a technical director, a cinematographer, an editor, all of which pertain to media, but are vastly diverse in their required skill sets and expectations, is a direct result of, this inability for my person to initially say no to things. And, you did mention before to me that this has kind of been a thread that's come through your other podcasts. And
yeah, no's and boundaries and
right,
expectations and follow through has really been a lot of what people are talking about.
My personal experience with it has been really rough, as I would hazard to say some people might have been. I think, though, that warning of, you got to make sure to say no. You got to understand that you can't do everything. That warning is talked about so much. But the reality is, when you in that headspace are trying to, either get as much work as possible or trying to prove to yourself that you're worth something, it's really difficult even hearing that, even hearing the warning, even hearing the people talking back to you.
I get that.
So unfortunately, one of the most difficult things is that you just have to experience the pain, the frustration, the anger until you personally get fed up with it. I find that that's, kind of a thread in and of itself, is
choosing yourself finally.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Feels fucking good, huh?
Feels awesome.
Yeah. I've been on that journey for the last year, and I've had to cut a lot of people off.
Right.
And that's okay. But look where I'm at now without all of those people. They would have just held me down.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't continue that shit anymore. Putting yourself first is okay.
That isn't to say that people aren't helping.
Absolutely.
A lot of people in my life have certainly put in the time and the effort to be there for me. And there's a few particular people that I would say are the foundation of who and how I am today, especially when it comes to, person-to-person interaction. And I feel like I'm talking about this very clinically, but like,
that's fine.
That's how it registers in my brain, I would say.
Everyone computes differently.
Right.
And so make it make sense for you, and it's going to make sense to whoever's listening if it's for them.
That makes sense. Okay. And, person-to-person interaction and work interactions in particular are the biggest parts of your life, parts of my life in particular. And those influential people in my life have certainly made it easier for me, have made me more confident in how I can hold myself and the standards that I hold myself to. But also
Standards. Did you hear that? Standards.
standards. But when it comes back to, understanding and accepting yourself for either who, what, or how you work, it's the people that you hold closest and the people that affect the most change on you are so important.
So important. And it's crazy you say that is because I started, getting more followers just by going on live. Getting more, because I started this podcast a year ago, right? And I got nothing.
It's a long time.
I gave up. I genuinely gave up until these video recordings, because I was like, no one's listening. These are really powerful messages, whatever. And a year later, here we are, and the standard that I set for myself, and the self-talk and self-belief and the confidence that I put into all of it is why I am who I am today. A year ago, you would not have seen me like this. No. Zero confidence. I've always been in the back. And you saw me do something really scary for the first time. You were there.
I was there.
That was my first time on stage doing anything like that. My own event, I was late.
Yeah,
I was very upset, wasn't I? Yes. And all of you kept telling me what.
But it worked out.
Yeah, it did work out. And it's because I have a huge support. And
it's true.
So my support on, let's say, my social media, TikTok, for example, is I have this pink boot. And everybody, it's a vase. And I have these fake flowers that I put on it. And I write everybody's name on it that supports me on my journey. That's through the live or through the TikTok, exactly. And it's a decoration of my house. And I made a commitment that I'm going to be at the Grammys or the Oscars 1 year from my birthday, which was on April 2nd. And it's happening. I don't know which one it's going to be, but I take my people with me. So when you say you get forgotten, that happens to a lot of people. And there's even an artist that I know personally named Kenny. That's what he goes by. He could talk to you about this for hours. The struggle, because he was on The Voice and all of the things, and now he can talk about it, and it's everywhere. But I don't forget my people, and so I want you to know that with me, you always have community, and with my people, you always have community. There's always a space for you, and I'm a networking queen. I'm really good at it. I'm like, hey, I can see that. Picture. Oh, videos, got you, And so just know you do belong, and your work is beautiful. You had my work to me before we left the event. It was uploaded to your computer. I had it that night.
Yes.
Yes, and to the point where I haven't even been able to watch it. That's how quick you got it back to me. I want to watch it so bad, but nobody wants to watch it with me.
It is scary. It is scary watching yourself.
No, but I've been watching myself on TikTok and doing my podcast and all the things. I want to see myself from somebody else's view because I'm always the one recording, right? And so that's something you captured that I haven't seen. I don't think you edited it. It's just raw, right?
Yep. It's just a really long take.
Yeah.
The audio is probably going to be the best part about
because I had a mic on and I'm all talking in the background and you're like, you have a mic on. I'm like, oh, that's okay to get and so but that's who I am.
Right.
And so people who work with you should be lucky because I got the opportunity to get to know you and you felt unprepared.
I did.
Because you didn't have a SD card or whatever that is. But who had one? I did. Right? And we made it work. And you got thrown into the freaking fire. You probably didn't even know you were going there until the day before.
That is true.
Yeah.
I definitely came ill prepared.
So did I, though.
Yeah.
I was doing my makeup in the bathroom because you were there taking pictures.
That's true.
That's the only reason why I went in there and put makeup on. Or else I would have gone up there crying my eyes out. I still had felt the emotion, but once I felt more comfortable, it's because I had you. I'd never met you. I had Mary. I had Candace. Amelia. I had Keys, Christian, Midge, all these people that I personally know telling me it's okay. You got this.
Yeah.
And you are part of that. Like, your pictures are going on my website. You know that
Of
I don't have
course.
any pictures from my first event besides what's on the news.
That's true. You did mention that in the newscast.
So how cool is that for you, knowing that you're a part of something way bigger than you even imagine?
You know, that's kind of been what I feel I do best at, is not necessarily being the focal point, but I support people the best with the skills I've learned, with the expertise I have. And I'm really glad that, you know, the frantic nature of, hey, really quick, can you shoot this event? And, you know, getting there and realizing things were broken on my end.
No.
And being able to fix it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
about problem solving.
Right.
But we worked together as a team, and I didn't even know you.
Exactly.
I was prepared for anything, but also not prepared for my own event. Right?
Yep.
I was prepared for other things, but I wrote my event. I planned it out the night before.
Yeah.
I had booked the venue a month prior, right? But I had a vision, but I didn't know how to execute it, and it turned out beautiful. And nothing more could have been perfect. I don't care how many people were there. It was like beautiful.
I think it was the perfect amount for exactly what you had to say.
It was beautiful. Yeah,
I agree.
You got to be a part of it.
I'm really glad I did.
I'm glad you did, because now, you know, you've got some amazing connections and you have people. And I know that you've struggled, you know, you've mentioned with balancing relationship and work and stuff.
Yes.
Entrepreneur lifestyle is not for the fucking weak.
It is not.
And you do it and you grind, and I do it and I grind, and I got kids, and it's hard as shit. It's about showing up.
It is about showing up.
You showed up.
However tough it is, it's about showing up. Like, I have a girlfriend at home. You know, we've been together for over a year at this point. She's
awesome.
Been living with me for over a year. And, you know, that portion of our relationship, you know, moving in and getting everything together like that was rushed because of other things that were out of our control.
Finances, I'm sure. And
it's like
this, that, the third. Like,
there was, for very small context, her town has well-fed water supply, and that was contaminated with bacteria for a while. And she was buying bottled water. And I'm like, okay,
you're like, just please come live with me.
Let's move in
the planet.
We're both, you know, trying to be very mature about it. You know, this is a big life decision, but in the end, it worked out. You know, of course, we have our differences when it comes to living together, but, you know, over time, you iron those out. You get used to each other. You understand how each other feel. But
I think it's important to actually live with your partner before you get married, or
that's an interesting point.
Because I got married. I've done it all. I think I would rather live with somebody and have a baby before getting married. 100%.
What's the big idea in that?
Because they change.
That's true.
Immediately something changes. And you don't know how it's going to react. You don't know what's going to happen. And so you might as well figure it out before you sign that piece of paper that you have to pay thousands of dollars to get away, right?
You're right.
So it's like, why not figure it out first before you make the commitment?
You know, pulling back to relationships beforehand, I can see that echoed in my relationships. I had also someone move in, you know, earlier, completely changed. Yeah. And I was like, I didn't feel that they were the same person, that I was right for them at that point in time.
Because they hide things when you're not around them, right?
That's true.
They become somebody that they're not, because anybody can be anybody.
Not necessarily only that,
yes,
but also the circumstances of the environment at large. You know, if you're living with your parents or you're living with, you know, other roommates, it's entirely different than living with a partner.
1,000,000%. Yes. I feel like when I'm living with a partner, I'm going to hold them accountable 100%. They're going to help me out. Yeah. My roommates, you're going to clean up your fucking mess. You know, like, I've been there, done that. I'm done doing your dishes, bro. It's not my fucking mess. I'll clean my room though, you know? And so you get that, but it's a whole other dynamic.
It is.
And it's new and it's scary, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was definitely scary at first, but, you know, things clicked. and it was awesome. And then leading back to where we are today is I travel a lot for work. I came back from Michigan in early April. I was in Australia in February. I have to go to Vegas in the heat of summer in June. So that's going to be fun.
If you ever work with Urban, we have contracts in, I can do Vegas, Arizona, Idaho, Utah, I think Colorado.
Colorado is nice.
But I can also do anywhere. I just have to go through my agent. But
that makes sense.
Though? Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was like, because PR does work with Urban.
Oh, that makes sense.
But that's not how I know him.
Right.
Yeah,
you know him through another connection, through another connection.
Isn't that weird? But he works with the same agency sometimes. And so it's cool that because you guys have been able to cohabitate and learn to adjust and be mature is what it sounds like. But that comes with a lot of healing.
It does.
Yeah.
And she's the one who's helped me the most. I think recently, I've had 2 really pivotal figures, and she's one of them. And when it comes to that travel work-life balance, it's really tough. I've been away for like 2 weeks at a time, and it's really frustrating because, of course, you miss each other, but also you have like this work exhaustion when you get home. And
oh no, you're drained.
Yes,
you're fucking
absolutely.
Dead. You need another week off.
Yeah,
because then you have the editing. I'm sure you have to do still,
right.
And this, that. You're still working.
Yes,
yeah.
And that's the tough part is you come back, and your partner is ready to see you, and you're ready to see your partner, but then the next day you have work you got to turn in, or you have you got to go into an office, you got to go work with other people, you have a different project you're working on, and all of that compounds, especially in the freelance business, to make it this sort of tumultuous, interesting dynamic, and one that's really difficult to pull off unless you have that supportive partner. Thankfully she is, and I'm really grateful for that.
I'm so glad because I've never had that.
It is tough. And the most important thing is that support has to go both ways, because you as a person, I have experienced your willing support to your friends, your, immediate surrounding people, whether you know them or not. And of course, and when you don't have someone that can echo or reflect that back on you, or is able to work with you in that fashion, it's really difficult.
It's probably the most frustrating thing, I think, for me, if I'm being honest, is like sometimes I just need that, and I don't know how else to explain it other than I've already maybe told you 27,000 times how to help me.
Right.
And you just won't do it. And so the fact that people notice that and can see that is special, because you need it sometimes. I sometimes can't think straight. I'm like, what's happening?
Yep.
And then I'm like, oh, write that down. Be my notes. Oh, did someone write that down? That was a good line. That was a good song lyric. Write that down. That's all I think about in my head constantly. And I feel like I have to do everything by myself.
Right. And not only do you have that going on, but you have your little laundry list of things that you have to do later, that you have to do, before a certain deadline.
Don't get me on.
And you're like sorting it all mentally. Of course, throwing it in a calendar sometimes helps, but executing is a whole different ballgame.
Oh, you have to execute. That's
exactly
the only reason I'm here. You're here. We're all here because of execution. There's nobody successful in life or has a happy life worth living if they haven't moved with their ideas or their dreams. They're just unhappy.
That isn't to say it's easy.
Yeah, it's the easy way out. And you say you went to school.
I did.
Yeah, you're not there anymore.
Yeah, I went to school for video game design.
That's fucking cool.
It was and is still a huge passion of mine. But my, the way I work with a team didn't necessarily mesh with the way that teams were structured in that environment. And I didn't feel that I was able to put in the amount that I wanted to, or that regardless of how much I put in, sometimes people didn't, go to that finish line. and provide me with what I need to get my work done. And so you have this.
So frustrating, huh?
Exactly.
It's like, oh, what the hell? I'm trying to do my job. You're not doing your job.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I here? Am I bringing value? Like, I can do
Exactly.
this my fucking self. Like, why not? Right? So that's what you did, it sounds like.
I mean, there are definitely portions
Yeah.
that I would struggle to do by myself.
But you had to learn it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You do have to learn it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to building the team that you really like, when it comes to building the team that you really like, you have to start with friends who know how to do these things. Because if you start with people who know how to do these things and you can't become friends, it is almost impossible to work on a passion project together.
100%.
And that's been a huge portion of deciding that I want to pursue a freelance career, that I want to put myself and my work in, that I want to put myself and my work as, the forefront, rather than necessarily being part of a university team doing class assignments.
Yeah, I'm over all that shit too. It's exactly why I made Come As You Are. It's not clinical. It's sure. Could I go to, do I qualify for being a therapist? Yes. Can I go to school and do that? Yes. Do I want the license? No. Because nobody wants to go pay to go see a therapist anymore.
Right.
Because the culture is so damaged. And so it's like, that's why I've made my business. It's like this network. So you say like, it's all about who you know. And so what I've been doing the last year is a ton of networking and growth and building my confidence. I have literally a person for everybody to talk to.
And that's awesome.
I've been building a team silently in my head, and it's all aligning. And the way you're explaining how a team should work is exactly how it should work. And that's how I run my business. And, I've opened restaurants and trained a team up to 80 people, ages 14 through 80 years old.
Right.
And those are all skills I was learning, right? I was learning all these things to be able to teach. So I have a skill, right? But I don't have the same skill you have.
Right. And I don't have the same skill that you have.
Yeah.
And that's why being a team and working on that teamwork is not only super rewarding, but also the results of being on that team and working together can be so incredible. That
so fulfilling. It's
fulfilling. Like, that's the word.
I was looking at those pictures that you took of myself, and I didn't even see you taking them. If I'm being completely, I like blacked out, and I'm like, thank you so much for capturing those. I never see myself look so confident, and I wasn't.
Right. And me not being seen is a huge part of the work that I do.
I was like, I seriously did not know you took those pictures from above.
Yeah.
Do you know Taki? That was his first time ever doing something like that. And he has the most beautiful pictures that you took, and it made him literally cry. That's precious. Yeah. Your work is beautiful. Thank you. I saw very little of it. I haven't even, I haven't seen and edited anything. I'm sure you have magic. I haven't touched the video because I don't know what to do with it. I'm like, oh man. Video is just a GoPro, but I wanted to get the audio because that seemed like the most important thing. The audio is going to be great. And I did listen to some of it, and it's funny. You can hear and the proudness on my face that you captured of Taki, and just like me like shouting out. Like nobody knows that that's what I was doing, but I do. Right. And I'm always the one behind the camera or capturing the memories. So thank you. Of course. For being there and sharing your talent, because you're amazing at what you do. And I didn't even get the video part. Do you know what I mean? Right. That was just appreciate pictures. It. You don't even take pictures. You claim. That is not my main you claim. Thing. I was like, but are you proud of yourself and like the journey that you've taken to get to where you are? It definitely isn't easy. Choosing to leave school, I'm sure you felt lots of pressure from your family. I did. And, not to put them under the bus or not to throw them under the bus, but they did have some really valid reasons for wanting me to go to school. And I did agree with them. And
degree that I chose was because of an industry that was growing. But later down the line, the industry then decided to shrink because of external economic factors. And there's this whole idea of like, okay, can I get a job when I get out of university? Is this going to be my career? How can I do this?
So many people actually don't get jobs in their degrees.
Right.
Like, I would say about 70% of the people I've talked to fundraising and working do not actively use their degrees in their field of work.
And, you know, my current fields of content creation, you know, video editing, that's all passion stuff that I had worked on before.
But it's skill you built over time.
Yes,
as well.
It is. You know, the first time I ever had, you know, my own camera was like 2022. And that was a big moment for me. You know, it was a nice Sony camera. I got it new. I got the little lens that came with it. I worked with PR, who we've talked about, and we went.
PR is amazing.
He is.
Yeah, he needs to get on this podcast.
He's got a lot to say.
He has his own podcast.
That is true. But he was like, hey, I need help covering this event. Can you help me do this? And it was an anime expo here in Utah. I'd never done anything like that. Was it the one
on February 14th?
Not this year.
Okay. I was like, oh my gosh. Taki was there. And that's where he saw me. I was about to have
a panic attack
and be like, this is crazy. Someone help.
Right. I mean, like, that's one of my first times being in front of a lot of people, you know, being like, hey, I need you to stand over there so I can take your photo.
Listen here, do this, do this.
That's not me. Like, I don't do that. And so that put me in an uncomfortable, but definitely learning position. But before that, to get, you know, to the point where I was like, okay, I want a camera. I want to be able to do photography, cinematography, that kind of thing. In 2019, I was playing this online game, and it's got built-in camera tools. And I'd never really been like super into photography or videography. I watched a lot of behind the scenes on cinema and YouTube videos. It was interesting, the technology behind it and the technique, but I'd never wanted to put it into practice. But through playing that game and, you know, getting beautiful pictures, because the game is gorgeous, I was like, okay, you know, I'm having a really fun time doing this. Well, let me see if we can just make a little fun video with my friends in the game. So that's what we did. We banded together. It took us like 2 nights, got a whole bunch of video clips, and then I edited them all together. Editing was not something I enjoyed. But
editing is not the funnest thing in the world.
No,
if you don't know how to do it.
Right. Which I didn't do at the time.
Yeah, I was like, I've definitely edited my own podcast stuff. It's annoying.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, getting through that, I'm like, okay, this is actually kind of fun. So, you know, going on through the years, doing this out of my dorm room in university, I expanded my, you know, knowledge base. I expanded my connections. And someone was like, hey, you know, I have a bunch of people that play together in that same game. Would you be willing to make like an advertisement so we get more people into our group? I was like, sure. This is the first time I'd ever done anything like that. So we put one together, and it was fun because, you know, it's a bunch of people collaborating behind a single idea, and regardless of their expertise, regardless of their experience, they make it happen. And of course, it's sloppy. It's your first time.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who gives a shit?
The end result was fun to make, and it did well enough. Like, not necessarily in the advertising sense, because it's difficult for that genre of advertisement to make an impact.
Advertising's hard unless you pay for it.
And that's a big thing.
Yeah.
But
I
think
pay for it. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Like, why would I do that? I can advertise myself.
Yeah. Networking in particular.
Yeah.
And, you know, this connection of people brought me into live broadcasting. And that was an interesting leap to make. I was watching a live stream of the video game through like this competitive events company. and it's like this grassroots one where they built their company from the ground up to do live events in this video game. It's very niche, and that's the biggest point is like there's no one else in the space doing this. So okay, that's really interesting. They use people in the game recording their screen and sending it to them to be their like cameras, since it's really difficult to get, like, if you have 100 people lined up in a race in this video game, it's really difficult to get every single one of them to be like, all right, send your screen over. So
absolutely. It's getting people to actually do it is so annoying.
So
it's hard.
They get a select few people who are really good at, getting beautiful, amazing camera shots. And then they pick them in particular to send over video feed, and they cut between them just like a live production. And I was like, oh, I want to be a part of that. I've gotten better at doing camera things. And this is like 2022, like 2019 to 2022. And this idea of like, okay, I am now a part of a team who builds these broadcasts out and, creates this is amazing.
It was fucking great. That's dope, dude.
As a university student with no formal training in it, like, you're like, whoa, you can do this?
Did you know that I actually never graduated high school?
I didn't.
My mom was an alcoholic, and my dad chose to stay with my mom. And
I see.
Yeah, I'm actually working on my GED right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm just a regular schmegular person. Nothing special, but I've learned the real shit, which is what you chose to do, and apply your knowledge. And that's why I'm like, fuck school. There's a certified peer support specialist certification here in Utah now. You just have to get letter of recommendations.
Oh.
And you can be licensed through the state just because you've been through real life shit. And so
that's pretty interesting.
I never actually had to go to school. I needed to learn in the real world. And I actually don't even know how old you are. I'm 30.
I'm 25.
Okay, I love it. And so you guys are learning so many things right now. 5 years behind me.
Indeed.
Wow. Like, your brains are insane. I'm like, I can barely work my iPhone. Like, flip phones came out in 3rd grade. Like, I'm like, what's happening? And so the willingness to apply yourself and like never giving up is so beautiful.
It is.
And I'm so happy that you were at my event, because I never would have met you otherwise. But life has a way of throwing in what we need.
I agree.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't know if you know this about Christian, but he went to the U as well for full stack web development and
that makes sense.
And, AI stuff. So he's amazing at all of those kinds of things. Great network and connect as well. And anyone here, they got you as well. And I would love to have you even come video all of my events. You could be my on-call photographer, videographer. So just know that you're valued. And
I appreciate it.
I know that this was really hard to do, coming on here and sharing a little bit and being vulnerable and sharing that experience. It wasn't easy, and you're still going through it.
And that first 5 minutes, that's always the roughest part about doing something. Once you settle in, I think it's been a lot easier.
Yeah, you just like, so genuinely, it's like the art of not giving a fuck. There's a book called Fuck It Therapy. It's great. Let them vary. I don't know if you've read that by Mel Robbins.
I've not.
It's an amazing book. Essentially, it's the theory is let them is the only one people really say, but the whole thing is let them, let me. So let them do whatever the fuck they're gonna do, but I'm gonna let me do what I want to do and what's good for me. And it's a great book. A lot about self-growth. And Dr. Serena Sterling, who was here, has a book as well.
Beautiful.
I would love to. I'm gonna share it on the page. Don't worry. She just did an episode as well. And your network is growing. Don't give up on your dream, because it's a reality. You just said you were in Michigan, you're going to Vegas, and you're doing all the things. Like, that's so cool. And you're your own boss. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's a fucking cool.
It's a lot of work. It's a
Yeah.
lot of
Oh, I
work.
know. I do the same thing. Like, so I
Right.
have my business, and then I'm also 1099 with, an agency,
Mhm.
right? So freelance, contract stuff. It's a lot to keep up on top of being a single mom.
It is true.
And so grind. I wish I had all the technology that y'all grew up having. I have it now, right?
Right.
But man, is it so frustrating. Sometimes I want to throw my computer against the wall.
Yes, I have had those
Yes.
times.
I'm like, actually, I have done that before. I did smash my computer in the driveway of my house. Did happen. The cops did come for some reason. I didn't know you couldn't do that in your own driveway, but it's fine. Before we head out from the episode, because this was beautiful.
I appreciate it.
Your words are articulate. You're very well spoken, and you do have confidence. I can see it in you. So just keep going. Before we take off, is there anything that you wanted to share with the listeners specifically as a final message before we end the episode for today?
Yeah. I think the final thing I wanted to share is sometimes the hardships in life are going to be unavoidable. Sometimes those moments where you feel like you can't keep going are just going to happen. It can take the right person, it can take the right circumstance, or it can take the sheer force of will to get through it. But the other side and what you learn from it is going to be the most important experience of your life.
I agree with that 100%. And the fact that you can recognize that is so beautiful. And I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Are you proud of yourself?
I am.
It's amazing. Well, Sierra, thank you for coming on Fuck, Where Do We Start?
Of course.
Friends, peeps, family. I know my family is probably not listening. That was silly. Make sure we follow Sierra on everything, website, everything. Talented as shit. Okay? Next time, we'll be talking about probably something else crazy. Who knows? But I'll see ya.